Holy buckets, have you guys seen the leaks for Terastal Festival are absolutely stunning. This video has nothing to do with Terastal Festival, actually, not at all. I don't know why I'm starting out with this, but it's absolutely amazing. Some of the special art rares that are coming out are very, very stunning. Like the Iron Crown is just absolutely gorgeous. The Petra is super cool looking. There's a lot of really cool cards in Terastal Festival, and it's great that you get a special art rare and SAR with every single booster box because it is a high class set. This set comes out officially in Japan this upcoming Friday. We should be getting our booster boxes in like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll be shipping out orders, pre-orders all throughout the week. We have a lot of extra boxes coming in that we have not put up. So we're sold out right now on the website, but that's mainly just so we can get all the pre-orders packed. We will have a lot available. So if you haven't gotten any yet, you can go to CrossioShop.com probably like early next week. I'll make another announcement when it comes, but I'll leave the link in the description down below. But if you haven't gotten any yet, we will have extras that we will be able to get out to you. But this set looks absolutely bonkers. It's nice that you get a special art rare in every single box, and then you have the ability to get another secret rare potentially in that. There are god packs again, which is super cool. Like I said, the special art rares are stunning. They look absolutely amazing. We're not going to go through them all. We're not going to go through all of you can look at that stuff on your own. The Master Balls seem a little tough. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get one in a booster box. It looks like you're going to get 3 of those special reverse hollows, but they could be all Pokeballs. Pull rates look a little weird, so we'll see how it transitions into Prismatic Evolutions. But Prismatic Evolutions, obviously the next specialty set that comes out in January is going to be a banger. But we're going to talk about a different specialty set in today's video. Kind of a nice segue, and we're going to talk about Crown Zenith because I think Crown Zenith is a really, really good set that I don't want to necessarily say it's slept on, but it is still cheap, and it's something that is going to be cheap for a little while longer, but nobody knows really how long, and especially with all the attention that is paid to Surging Sparks and now Terrestrial Festival and Prismatic Evolutions. As we move into 2025 and we get all these banger sets that are coming out, like the Partner set, and obviously the Glory to Team Rocket set, and then the Black and White Rewind or Reboot set, there's going to be a lot of attention, a lot of hype paid to those, and Crown Zenith could be something that just kind of creeps up under the radar. It could be slept on at that point in time, and there are still opportunities to get it out there for relatively inexpensive costs. And the great thing about Crown Zenith is the pull rates are absolutely phenomenal. I think that's one of the reasons that it is loved so much. So I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. This is the pull rate sample size, the pull rate data that we pulled when we opened up Crown Zenith when it was originally released a year and a half ago. So Crown Zenith has been out for quite some time and is just a very loved set amongst a lot of Pokemon card collectors and should be loved for a very, very long time. Now, I don't know if Terastal Festival or Prismatic Evolutions is going to have any similarities when it comes to pull rates with what we saw with Crown Zenith. Obviously, we won't know that information until Prismatic Evolution starts getting opened. The fact that there is a lot of special illustration rares in Prismatic Evolutions has me very concerned, but Crown Zenith, you pulled bangers all over the place, left and right. So if we break this down, 1,600 packs were opened of Crown Zenith. That's what we opened right before the set released. Your hits per booster box sample size was just over 20. So very strong hit rates. 20 out of 36 packs is really, really good. Regular arts per booster box is about 3.96, so you get at least a regular art with every ETB that you open up. Remember, with Crown Zenith, that's when you got 10 booster packs per Elite Trainer box. Things have changed now. Crown Zenith was the last set that came out in the Sword and Shield block. After that, we started out the Scarlet and Violet generation, and with Scarlet and Violet, you only got 9 booster packs in your Elite Trainer box as far as those specialty sets go. When it comes to the Vstar Vmax per booster box, you got 2.3 or about 0.64 per ETB, 1 out of every 15 to 16 packs. Radiance per booster box, gosh, who remembers Radiance? 1.37 per booster box or 0.38 per Elite Trainer box. Full art trainers per booster box was about 0.68. Special or SRs per booster box was about 0.34 or 0.09. That's just one. That's just your secret rare Pikachu. It takes about 107 packs to pull that secret rare Pikachu, but that's the only secret rare in the set. Really, I mean, that's it. The gold cards that you get, the Dialga, the Arceus, those are the gold Galarian Gallery. So those have a little bit different of a pull rate, a little bit more difficult. The Galarian Gallery front half. So remember, those trainer galleries and Galarian galleries were basically split up into 2 subsets. So you had the first half of a trainer gallery or a Galarian gallery, and then you had the back half. The back half was more difficult to pull. Those were the cards that had kind of the texturing, whereas the front half was more smooth on the surface. 7.63 per booster box. So you got about 2 of those with every Elite Trainer box that you opened up. It could have been the Pikachu or the Duskull or the Poochyena. In the Galarian gallery back half, you got about 3.94 or about 1.09 for your Elite Trainer box. So you open up an Elite Trainer box of Crown Zenith, you should pull that Deoxys Vmax or that Leafeon Vstar or that Raichu V or something like that in your one of the back half of the Galarian gallery. And then when it comes to those gold cards, so there's 4 gold cards, obviously the Palkia and the Dialga, and then you also have the Arceus and the Giratina, 0.25 per booster box. So 1 out of every 145-ish packs would give you one of those gold cards. So if you want to pull all 4 of them, you're going to have to open up about 60 Elite Trainer boxes or the equivalent of that, so 600 booster packs. That should give you 4 gold cards. Now, obviously, you have to pay attention to variants and things like that. So 0.07 for your Elite Trainer box. So not great. When it comes to Crown Zenith, there's not a whole lot that's out there anymore when it comes to storefront. So if you're a storefront that's looking to order Crown Zenith from distribution, this is all that you have. Everything else is pretty much gone. There might still be some cases where distributors have maybe a case of Elite Trainer boxes that they limit you to, or that they have higher up as far as price points go, where they're not really wholesale pricing anymore. They're charging closer to that market pricing, or maybe they have that with like the Galarian bird tins or something else. But when it comes to wholesale pricing for Crown Zenith, it's pretty much just these 2 variants here. So you have the Morpeko V Union Premium Treasures box and the Premium Playmat Collection box. Now the Premium Treasures box is a much better value. You do get 7 booster packs of Crown Zenith as opposed to 5. You only get 5 in the V Union Playmat collection. You get the Morpeko, the Jumbo, and the V Union in both of them, but the Premium Treasures one comes with a little bit of a pin, whereas the Playmat obviously comes with a Playmat inside for that collection box. So this is pretty much it as far as what's available at distribution. So once this is gone, pretty much all the Crown Zenith product is going to be gone then, and there will become a point in time where these do start creeping up a little bit in price as far as wholesale price comes, or they get to a point where they are limited. This is an interesting product right here, and this is really one of the main reasons that I wanted to make this video, because this is the Sea and Sky collection box. This is the most recent release of Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith was a staggered set, much like what we're seeing with Prismatic Evolutions. It's a very important set to look at because it was staggered over the course of like 9 months. That's what its original release schedule was. Maybe not quite that long. It was like 6 months for Crown Zenith, but we had additional products that released for months and months after the fact. So this Sea and Sky product, for example, came out a few months ago, about 1.5 years after the release of Crown Zenith. There was another new product came out. So kind of similar to what we're seeing with 151 with that Blooming Waters collection box that's coming out in February. Obviously, that's about 1.5 years after the set actually released, after Scarlet and Violet 151 release. So we did have other ancillary products that came out that were more of a GameStop exclusive, like that Lugia box, that Unknown box. That was more of an exclusive product to GameStop, but it put more packs of Crown Zenith on the market. And we did have multiple reprints of Crown Zenith, especially when it comes to those Elite Trainer boxes. We got more mini tins and more things like that. That's what has me hopeful for Prismatic Evolutions, as far as, yeah, there's a lot of hype right now, there's a lot of FOMO right now, but if we look at specialty sets in the past, there has been reprints pretty much of every single set, just in different products. So Crown Zenith did have multiple different print runs, and the staggered release really helped out a lot. So this was 5 or 6 months, whereas opposed to Prismatic Evolutions, which is more like 9 months. 9 months of set releases, which should help a little bit as more and more people start buying into other sets. Maybe they're focused on the Team Rocket set come May. That's 5 months after Prismatic Evolutions comes out. So all of a sudden Prismatic Evolutions gets a little bit less attention, which makes products a little bit more available. So if you haven't gotten a Prismatic Evolutions pre-order yet, just try not to FOMO, try not to lose your mind. There is going to be opportunity in the future. But the Sea and Sky box, you can see right now on TCG Player, selling for about $67. So this is up about 10% over the past 3 months, with the majority of its damage being done over the last month and a half. You can see it down to its 3-month low of $56.22 at the beginning of October. Then it's gone up about 20% since then. So it's sitting at $67.03 right now, which is just off of its high point of $67.11. But the most fascinating thing about it is you can still buy these on samsclub.com. So I went to samsclub.com the other day. I don't have a Sam's Club membership. I just kind of looked around, found them, added them to my cart, and they do still let me order them. You can have them shipped to you. It's $87.96 for 2. It breaks down to like $39. Now, if you don't have a Sam's Club membership, and this might be where somebody needs to kind of help me out a little bit in the comment section down below, I believe you can still check out. You can become a guest. I didn't go through all this, but I believe you can still check out, but you are charged like a 10% fee for not being a member, not being a member of Sam's Club. So you can, I think, go to samsclub.com, still buy these, have them shipped to you, and you just pay 10% on top of that. So even if that is the case, and these are $40, and you pay, let's say, $45 plus shipping, puts it at like $52, somewhere around there, or you buy 2 of them, and then you become eligible for free shipping, you factor in tax, let's just say $110. So that would be $55 per box. That's still cheaper than the 3-month low that we're looking at when it comes to Crown Zenith. And you get a fair amount of booster packs in here. I think there's like 16 of them, plus the Rayquaza V, the Kyogre V, and obviously the Jumbo. So definitely something to remember, definitely something to consider. If you are looking for a good deal on Crown Zenith, they are still out there, and you can still buy them at Sam's Club. So if we look at the market on Crown Zenith, these are the Elite Trainer boxes right here. You can see steady growth over the past year. There were a couple of times where there were buyouts going on, or just large amounts of sales on a singular week when it comes to TCG Player. That can't really be explained. You can see that happening in June, you can see it happening in December of 2023, and you can see it happening recently. Now, recently could be impacted because of the Black Friday deals and things like that, but you can see this jumping up and growing organically for the most part over the past year. Back in December, it was down to $38.44. Now, granted, that was shortly after we had a very large reprint of the Elite Trainer box, but ever since then, it has been steadily growing. It did level off a little bit between June of 2024 and September of 2024, but it's been climbing up since then. So it hit $61.62 recently. It's just a hair below that right now at $61.48, basically breaking down to about $6.15 per booster pack, because you do get 10 inside. If you look at the loose booster pack, there have been a lot of sales on TCG Player over the past several weeks, and part of the reason behind there being so many sales is because there's been so much more availability because of those Sea and Sky products, because there are so many booster packs in there, and you can get them at a decent deal. A lot of people have cracked them open, they have bought in pallets load of them, and then they are selling them on the secondary market. You can see in December of 2023, this was down to $3.59. It grew quite a bit without really any buyouts happening up until August. It hit that 1-year high of $5.62. Then we got that Sea and Sky product from Sam's Club, and the loose packs crashed because they did start breaking open those products and start selling them on the secondary market. Now, it has been climbing since then, but I don't see as many rumblings about the Sea and Sky products. So it's definitely something you want to check out if you're interested in opening more Crown Zenith, or maybe having some for the future. But overall, even if you're looking at that massive drop that we saw after the Sea and Sky product comes out, you're still looking at almost 20% growth over the year. It's sitting at $5 or $4.73 right now. So climbing back closer and closer to that 1-year high and still moving north. Here's the Elite Trainer box from Pokemon Center. This is a Pokemon Center exclusive one. This has been all over the place, but for the most part, relatively flat over the past year. I believe this came in and out of stock several times on the Pokemon Center website. I think it just recently went back out of stock again, which is why we're starting to see it grow a little bit. In December of 2023, it was down to $112.33. It did jump up almost 10% within a few months, up to $121.14, but then I believe it did get reprinted, and that's why you see it jumping or dropping down back closer to that $113 mark. It went up and down and up and down. Now it's sitting at $118.58, so closer to its 1-year high than its 1-year low. And you might see a little bit more growth now that there's more attention being paid to the exclusive Elite Trainer box, and also the fact that it's out of stock right now. Here's the Pikachu Vmax box from Crown Zenith. This one was one of the first products that came out. Sealed product is very tough to hold on to. It takes up a lot of space. It takes up a ton of space, especially if you're investing or buying multiple copies of each release when it comes to a new set release. You can see this relatively flat for the majority of the year. It started out at about $40, and then you can see in May or March it dropped down to $32.70. So that was its 1-year low. Now over the past few months, it's been growing a lot. Now you do have a lot of people kind of entering the hobby again, especially with all the hype. So maybe they're sealed collectors who are looking to add some pieces to their collection. But for the most part, if you're talking to storefronts and people like that, a lot of people inside is really what's going to be important, right? It's going to be the value of the packs and the products that are inside the actual collection box, because there were a lot of these out there, and like I said, this does take up a lot of space, so that's why it's tough. You really want to stick to highly liquid items like booster boxes and things like that if you do look at collecting sealed items such as this. But it has grown quite a bit. It's up to $56.06. That is a 1-year high for this product, up about 55.5% over the year, so doing extremely well. This is the booster bundle for Crown Zenith, which was a very interesting release because there was no booster bundles when Crown Zenith originally came out. So this did not come out until about 3 months ago, much like what we saw with the Sea and Sky byproduct. And this is another reason why all of a sudden there's a lot more booster boxes that have hit the open market, because these have been slashed open and then the loose packs inside have been distributed on the secondary market. You can see when this originally came out, it kind of started out at big box retailers, right? That's where you started seeing them pop up, and you didn't have any LGSs who were carrying them because they didn't get to distributors until later, after they had already gotten dropped at big box stores. So you can see in September, these were sitting at about $42.43, and then it dropped quite a bit up until the middle of November, where it hit that one-year low of $27.20, which is about MSRP for this item, and now it's starting to gain a little bit more and a little bit more. It's down about 11% from where it started out at, but there's a lot more on the market right now, and with the loose packs starting to climb quite a bit, this should go up quite a bit as well. These don't take up as much space, sitting at $34.16 right now, which is a little bit above MSRP. You can't find these anymore at distributors. They weren't made a whole lot for distributors, mostly made for big box retailers and places like that. So very interested to see how that performs as we move forward. Here's the Galarian Bird Trio. I think you can still get these on the Pokemon Center website, or if not, they must have just went out of stock. December of 2023, a collection of all three of these was selling for $69.75. It's gained about 28.5% over the past year. It did jump up to about $93.25 a couple weeks ago, and it's fallen down to about $89.67. So it has retraced a little bit, but still doing extremely well. Here's that secret rare Pikachu. We have talked about this so many times. This is an artwork that people are going to love for a very, very long time, and the pull rates on it are fairly easy, 1 out of 100 packs. However, we have seen it in the past where pull rates can be fairly easy on a specific card, but it's the artwork and the collectability of the card that makes that price go higher and higher. So it really depends on the demand for the card, and I have a feeling as more and more people get into Pokemon in the future, this is going to be a card that people are in demand for a very long time. So even though the pull rates on it are fairly easy, I still think it's going to be a very strong card. I'm not sure at this price point if it's going to be as strong, but when it was down to $6-7 a piece, definitely was a really good time to buy this card. But you can see really gaining a lot of ground over the past several weeks. It's gone through a lot of situations where there's been multiple copies that have been bought on TCG Player. You can see in March it was down to about $6.23, then it jumped up in June to about $13-14, then fell back down in September to about $8, and now it's gained a ton of momentum over the past couple months. It's sitting at $19.15, so that's a one-year high for this card and continuing to climb. Here's the Giratina Vstar. So there's 4 different gold ones. This is the first one we're going to talk about. This one has been trending up over the past month and a half. In December of 2023, it was sitting at $71.27. There were buyouts that happened at the beginning of summer. It jumped up to $138.54 and then fell back down. You can see in September of 2024, retraced to about $100. Now it's gained a little bit of that back. It's sitting at $112.41 currently, up about 57% over the past year, so doing extremely well. Same thing with the Arceus Vstar. This one has been gaining a lot of steam over the past couple months. In March of 2024, it was down to $50.43. Gained quite a bit in June because of those buyouts, jumped up to $99.41, almost hit that $100 mark, and then fell apart in September as the market retraced. It fell down to about $60. Now it's gained a lot of that back. Still up about 29.5% for the year, but sitting at $76.08 currently. The Mewtwo Vstar has made a lot of noise over the past month. It didn't retrace as strong as a couple of those other gold cards that we just looked at, but you can see March of 2024, $43, and relatively flat from December of 2023 up until June of 2024. So hit that one-year low of $43, and then in June of 2024 got bought out, jumped up to $69.46, and then started retracing, but only retraced about 12%, fell down to about $56, $57, somewhere around there, and now it's started to gain a little bit of that back. So it's up about 33% over the course of the year, sitting at $61.47 right now, and people just love the artwork, love the battle with Charizard. It's a very cool looking card. Here's the Palkia Vstar, kind of following a similar path with what we saw with the Giratina and the Arceus in December of 2023. This was at $32.77. It's very redundant, but you can see that buyout happening again, shooting this card way up to $68.90, and then the bottom fell out, dropped all the way back down to about $40, and now it started gaining some of that back. So it's sitting at $54.68, and that really shows you the emergence of the hype back in the hobby, and now it's grown up to $54.68 and continuing to trend upwards. Here's the Dialga Vstar right here. In December of 2023, this was sitting at a one-year low of $30.97. This one didn't go through really a crazy buyout stage like what we saw with the other ones, but it did grow quite a bit. I think there was less supply on the market than what we saw with some of these other ones. It jumped up to $62.05 and then retraced below $40, but now it's gained quite a bit of that back. It's jumped up about 25% over the past couple months. It's sitting at $52.12 currently, so up about 57% over the past year, doing extremely well. If we look at the next one, Leafeon Vstar right here, Leafeon Vstar is one of those cards that went through a little bit of a buyout. It was down to $18.46 in March of 2024, jumped up in June of 2024 to $43.06, and now it's been kind of trending downward ever since then. So in September of 2024, it hit about that $24 mark. It's been relatively flat since then, sitting at $24.79. It might see it starts creeping back up a little bit more, still up about 18% over the past year, doing extremely well. Seriously, it honestly just does break my heart that I don't have enough for everybody. I really, really wish I did. If we look at the Raichu V really been trending upward. Now, part of that is because Miraidon has done so well in competitive play. You combine that with Pikachu EX, which just released in Surging Sparks, and Raichu V is becoming a very competitive card again. It'll be more interesting to see what happens with this once rotation hits in like March, April. You might see it retrace quite a bit more. So I don't know if I would buy this one right now, or bite the bullet on this one, or pull the trigger on this one in April, May of 2024. It was at its one-year low of $15.32, and that's really when Miraidon kind of started falling out of focus, and then got bought out, jumped up to $23.73, and then retraced really, really quickly, fell back down to about $17. Now it's been steadily growing since then, but again, part of that could be because of competitive play. That might be one of the reasons that it's jumped up about 27%. Now I do think it would continue to grow even without competitive play, and it is a very cool collecting card, super cool artwork. I just don't know if it would be as high as what it is right now, and that's why I would be patient with this one and wait a little bit. It might fall a little bit, especially as Miraidon falls out of favor. I'm just going to read this out loud. Pre-orders are now available on thecardcoliseum.com. Password is scalp-free-zone, all capital letters. It's going to go fast. It's going to go super fast. I'm sure it is. This was the only way that I could think of to beat the bots, and to make sure that I could offer product at MSRP. Again, genuinely, I am sorry to those people who missed out. I wish I had enough for everybody. Deoxys Vmax is another interesting one because this one did get buyout, but it hasn't really retraced as much. So in December of 2023, it was down to $8.27. You can see that buyout happened in June, jumped up to $18.22, but hasn't retraced too much. It fell down to about $16, $15, sitting at $15.67 right now. You're still looking at about 80% growth over the past year, doing extremely well. You might see this one go up a little bit more because people do love this card so much. So that will be really, really interesting to see how it performs in the future. And then the last one that we're going to look at is the Sleeping Mew right here with Mysterious Tail. This has always been a very competitive card, but also a very, very cool card as far as artwork goes. And you can see it has grown quite a bit over the past couple months. So in March of 2024, it was sitting at that one-year low of $4.85. For the most part, it's been up and down, right? Up and down over the course of the year. September of 2024, it was right back below $5, almost at that one-year low. But now it's actually gained about 10.5% over the past couple months and continuing to climb. So it's up to $7.52 right now, which is just off of its one-year high of $7.58. But again, if you look at what the Pikachu Secret Rare has done, you might see this one continue to grow a little bit more. Even though the pull rates on this one are much easier, people love the artwork. It's a very cool card, so it wouldn't surprise me to see this one jump up even more in the future. So that's Crown Zenith in a nutshell. I'm sorry if, again, if you missed out on pre-orders. I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, and this was the best way I could think of. Locked down the site. I said it was going to be because of Black Friday orders, which it was. Like, I really did need to pack up Black Friday orders, but I wanted to password protect, give people the opportunity. And again, I'm going to try my best to get as much Prismatic Evolutions as I possibly can. But thank you so much just for taking the time to sit here and listen. And I was glad I was able to at least get the product in the hands of some people. I did limit everything, so hopefully that can maximize. And there will be more. I did not put up everything, so I guarantee you there will be at least more for sure. And I'm hoping to get even more. But thank you for everything. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. As we continue to grow, hopefully we'll continue to just be able to do more stuff and give more people the opportunity, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you. Leave a like, leave a comment, all that jazz. You guys are awesome. We'll be back tomorrow with the stream. Until next time, love you guys. Peace.